Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today to start things off here with the Shadow King Legendary event now that it's fully in effect. And as you can see, we have actually 16 days. This is definitely one of the longest periods that we've had an event like this, so definitely take advantage of it. But it's officially live now. And to get the 4-star unlock, you do need to at least hit, I believe it was milestone 8. So that's going to be this 386,000 points here. So what I'm planning to do for today's video, guys, is we're just going to run through it with our team right now just to get the unlock. Then I will be back with more videos likely on the higher difficulties as we want to see how far we can push this and obviously make the leaderboard. So what I set it to right now is difficulty 10. And I've also adjusted all of the packs. I selected the bottom 5 of them just because of the fact they give you good synergies. And again, I could do more, but I just want to rip through this quickly because that way we can get a sense of how the battle is going to be, but as well the team synergies that we're going to be looking to go up against. Perfect. So it does say that all our character shards are good to go. Oh, wait. Kind of crapped up on me there. Let's try that again. Yeah, so sometimes it can be glitchy like that. But yeah, we have a game plan already, guys. So, I mean, honestly speaking, we'll just go in with any kind of team here. There's a couple we can do, but honestly, there's so many different synergies. I think a good one is obviously going to be just having some of the staple teams that we have. You know, Extreme X-Men, Hive Mind. Any of the Orcus raid teams are going to be highly pivotal here just because of the fact that you can use any team. But remember, if you want to build up energy and so forth, this could be a good opportunity to do that. And you know, with Nightcrawler, actually, he is going to be one of the key brawler non-mythic characters that we're bringing in, so might want to be mindful of that. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I do like bringing this in. But this is going to be an auto fest just because of the fact that difficulty 10, even with these packs activated, as you can see, one-shotting here, right? So I would not expect there to be any issues going through this, but it's going to give us a good idea of which nodes are going to be difficult. But yeah, if you guys are doing this, gear tier 15, gear tier 16 is kind of what I'm seeing here right now. Especially some of these characters having teal gear. But yeah, you can see like many of our characters already being gear tier 18, 19. That's why we're like easily one-shotting them. So it's going to be good for us just to do that research. I always like to do this in the very beginning because it gives us a sense of the run, but as well kind of what waves to expect. And later on, when we do spend more time going into the higher difficulties, it's going to be important. So yeah, I like Extreme X-Men. Good synergy. We built up some cooldowns for Old Man Logan and Nightcrawler because we will be bringing them in for their respective nodes here. But again, we're just going to be going for the unlock, guys. So apologies if this is not going to be too helpful, but we're just trying to get a lay of the land. Now, this is where you can actually start using some different difficulties here. Oh, interesting. What the? I did not record the battle. Yeah, not sure what happened there. I restarted my game and it was good to go again. So if it gets glitchy, guys, make sure you just restart. But yeah, this is my team that I'm using here. Yeah, in the meantime, I think this is going to make do. I think the best version of this is going to be without Iron Man in place of Captain Britain, just because of the synergies that they'll have. But as we just saw, guys, this is actually pretty easy on difficulty 10, so it's going to be an auto fest here, as we'll see. But we'll get a sense of, you know, the type of enemies that we're going to be up against. So, yeah, I can definitely see this being a possible issue just because obviously we're up against this mixture here of the superior Sinister 6 synergies. And later on, when they do get their Cosmic Crucible bonuses, right, you can definitely see that issue there, especially since you're going to have a lot of those buffs being activated. They have it now as well, but remember, this is Illuminati, and our Illuminati team also has the Crucible bonuses, so it's going to be really interesting to see how they stack up once we go up into the higher levels. I really, really like Black Bolt for the fact that, you know, he has a lot of passive damage. And you can see here, yeah, likely Kraven's going to get his chance. As you can see, even at lower levels here, that turn meter is very, very evident. So that's something we're going to watch out for sure. And then Lizard also being dangerous, but because we have that advantage in terms of progression and upgrades, making short work of this, obviously. But yeah, what's more impressive is the fact that, yeah, we have a huge advantage in terms of upgrades, but these characters can take a beating. So definitely be on the lookout for this node when we start things off. I think it's going to be interesting once we max out everything on the packs. I definitely want to see how high we can we go up the leaderboards for sure. Especially once we, yeah, to be honest, I'm not sure if I'm going to do the HP boost, but we'll see where we land, because chances are, if you want to, you know, obviously climb as high as you can on the leaderboards, you want to make sure that all the packs are activated, obviously, and that way you can get as high as possible when you're going through it. So easy enough with this team, and as expected, I don't know how important Captain Britain's going to be, to be honest. They did say that they made it more feasible in the sense that if you don't have him, it's not going to be do or die, but you know, you can see we did have a little bit of struggles there. So the best version, I think, of this global villains is going to be Cabal, Lady Deathstrike, and Apocalypse. If you don't have Apocalypse, there's tons of good options still regardless, but I think this is going to be the best version of the global villains just because we have the Crucible bonuses. APOC is an absolute machine, and we're gonna get steamrolling here, right? Remember, there's a lot of good things with Lady Deathstrike too, just the amount of damage that she can do. I think going forward too, we want to probably save Apocalypse's ultimate for later on, just because of the fact that we're going to be up against you know, another wave of these characters, so we definitely want to be mindful of that. I would save probably Cabal's abilities if you're able to, because that way we can time it for the next node. I'm assuming it's going to be more difficult later on, and that kind of makes sense when you have these easier nodes out of the way. But evidently, as you can see, we're absolutely just ripping here because we're going to go straight for the unlock. And then, yeah, this is the one I was referring to earlier. I like how there's a lot of different combinations you can utilize here. And for the team that I was thinking of, actually, you could do a few things, right? I like this Thanos endgame with Nightcrawler and Val because they all have exposure. And then obviously you can bring in a character like Black Cat, Namor, Vulture. There's a lot of value here, but I definitely see this one being an issue if you don't have the right characters. I really like that mixture there of the exposure team because Val is going to be generating ability energy from obviously exposure, and we're up against this massive wave of Sentinels. So that's why it's important to have some big bursting characters with AoE. So this is a good one. I like how we recharge some of the energy here from Nightcrawler at the very beginning, because now we can take advantage of that, right? When there's Omega Red that does spawn here, we definitely want to be mindful of him. But remember, also the synergy of Omega Sentinel with the Sentinel. So once we go into the deeper difficulties, I definitely foresee this one being more difficult because of the waves of Sentinels that we're probably going to be up against. We had to use our Nightcrawler ultimate. Obviously not ideal, but very much preferred, especially in the beginning when you have all those taunts, right? So I'm probably going to do the same thing when I go into the higher difficulty. I want to set up my Nightcrawler so that he is kind of ready to go. And I really like that mixture there too of Old Man Logan coming in too, because we had his cooldowns all set up as well. So yeah, easy here, but like I said, a little bit more strategizing later on when we go into higher difficulties, especially that initial burst and having those waves of enemies come at you. And Nightcrawler is so good because he'll likely get the turn one anyways to flip that. So that's definitely good planning on what we're thinking about here. Yeah, and then as for this Mercs for Money team, I think they're honestly the go-to. I don't think there's really... I think if you have Undying built up well, I think they can definitely be an option, but just given the fact that there's so much survivability with the Mercs for Money team, and as well, they're very, very useful in war as well. So, I mean, you're just going to be getting, honestly, tons of value. So, you definitely want to start things off here, I think, with maybe an ultimate to kind of spread everything. Sometimes it's a good idea to use the special, so that way Logan can get the revive. But, I mean, you have the passives all kicking in here anyway, so I don't think it's going to matter. If anything, you might want to actually just charge up your dev pool. Your dev pool here, and that way... you're going to be able to get maybe the 5 charges when you go into the next node here with the Mercs for Money team. So overall, I'm really liking this team. Again, I'm using more basic attacks than I probably should because this is easier, but something to be mindful of later is cooldowns and how tanky these characters are going to be when we go higher and higher. So as you guys can see, like, we're just running through it because, like I said, if you have gear tier 17, gear tier 18, difficulty 10 is going to be an absolute joke. And Annihilators is going to be even easier too because most of us already brought this team up for Arena, right? So chances are you'll have the big 3 in Gore, Gladiator, and Thanos Endgame already at Gear Tier 19. So if you do, oh man, it's going to be super, super smooth. They would be, you know what? They would be a good one to possibly charge. So that way maybe you can start this off against this Alpha Flight team in a better position. But that's why I do like Ultimus, because if there is a lot of buffs being activated, as you just saw, he can completely wipe the floor with some of these characters. And thankfully, this is an Alpha Flight team that doesn't actually have the raid bonuses, so they're not going to be that big of an issue. But obviously, yeah, like I think it's just dealing with all those initial buffs at the very beginning, right? So taking down these enemies here. And yeah, I'm just going to try to save my abilities as much as I can because I don't really know what to expect. But yeah, these North Stars are probably going to be the issue here. And then obviously there's also an Old Man Logan that does spawn. So just something to be mindful there. Like, again, we're overpowered, but this is going to get very interesting when we go into the difficulties where all their stats are boosted up and they have the 3 diamonds and whatnot. It's definitely going to get interesting for sure. And you can just see how, yeah, even against these characters, right? They're already kind of getting tanky, but yeah, we'll see in the meantime. This is gonna be an interesting one. Now remember, the good news is now that we've used both Illuminati and Annihilator teams, you can actually combine the two now for the last and final node. And I think that one's gonna be a very interesting one because we're up against Odin. So how we plan that one is gonna be very interesting for difficulty 15. May or may not even need a burner, just because you may have to sack a team just to get forward, to push forward into that, right? But once again, global villain, and this is where we can actually use Apocalypse now for his ultimate. I think I'm going to do the same thing as well in my second run with the higher difficulty. But keep in mind, you don't have to bring in Apocalypse if you don't feel like using his ultimate, right? You can bring in something else later on. But I just think that it's going to be very notable. Actually, this wave is pretty easy. I don't know what the issue of this is going to be, but we'll just do the ultimate for the sake of clearing everything and for the sake of this video, right? But yeah, overall, no issues whatsoever, actually. So we'll see here. Okay, there's a Morgan Le Fay, that a combination there with Agatha Harkness that could be dangerous, but yeah, otherwise not really problematic at all because we have the Cabal synergies with the Crucible bonuses. So just an absolute cakewalk right now. That Odin one is going to be interesting though because, like I said, he's going to be jacked up from all the buffs. So once again, we'll go in with our signature brawler non-mythic team here. I really like the synergy. But you can see we're using Thanos Endgame quite a bit here. He's getting a lot of usage. So if you guys haven't built him up already, this would be a great opportunity to do so. So up against this X-Men team, our cooldowns wasn't great on Nightcrawler just because we had to utilize him earlier. But you know, we're once again. Oh, actually, my Namor came into this battle accidentally. Whoops. I wasn't watching that, but that's okay. It's fine. Since we're already done with the Cabal, so you know what? Let's go ahead. Let's use the ultimate here. Just gonna wipe everything. Just get it out of the way. It's not gonna matter anyways. Boom, boom, boom. Definitely gonna be smarter about this when I do it seriously. But yeah, I'm glad to see that at least from what we've seen, anyways. Man, like, you know, not a lot of crazy combinations. It's really the last and final. I think the last and final node that's gonna be interesting because that's it. Like everything else is pretty static here, guys. So we're gonna be back. We're gonna be doing difficulty 15, I think, with everything maxed out because I think this is definitely really realistic. And then, like I said, the mercenary ones is gonna be the most interesting because whether or not maybe you need a sack for the higher difficulties, but I do feel like this Mercs for Money team, they have what it takes, right? They have so much sustain, the revives that they get, and this is what I was talking about before. We were able to get the ultimate here now with Deathpool, so we can get the one shot and actually clear Nova right away. I do want to do this later on because I think that's gonna be pivotal just to get through this node even easier. And yeah, like after you do that, I mean, there's really not many issues, right? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I absolutely love the damage that we're getting from Dawkins. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, this is just such a good team. And all of them having that survivability, that revive mechanic, the energy, it's huge, guys. It's absolutely huge. So, yeah, I think that was the right call. Taking down Nova because you can see all these characters having a bit of synergy in that Nowhere Guardians of the Galaxy sense. So, I mean, that was the right play for sure. And then, yeah, I mean, pretty straightforward. Thankfully, like I said, these characters actually, you know, they're not that built up compared to us, so we're in a great position to succeed, even on difficulty 10. But yeah, I overall not too bad from what I see with the strategy, anyways, and some of the enemies that are kind of slotted into these nodes here. Okay, that just leaves the last but not least. Now, I do think that there's the best combination here, right? So I definitely think that the 3-piece here of Gladiator, Thanos as well as Gore are going to be very important. And then I think it's just a matter of bringing in your best characters in, right? So I think, honestly, I think Ultimus for me, just because he's so powerful, right? And then if you just wanted to bring in, you know, some of the Illuminati, but I honestly think that my full Annihilator team is going to be good enough, hopefully anyways. May have to bring in the Illuminati just as a sack, but we'll see how this Odin combination is against us, or even what we can see in anyways in the initial waves here. So start off with this Asgardian mixture, and right away, right off the bat, we already kicked their butts with the retaliation. Now this is gonna be important because I definitely think Gore is gonna be important here with some of the Thors gaining charges. But remember, you want to take down you know, the Thors for sure. And then, yeah, it's just non-stop Asgardians. So you definitely want to take them down as soon as you can, because the more synergy they're going to have with Odin when he does come here. And then, oh, shoot, I should have just went for the Valkyrie, actually. Forgot about the passive bonuses there. And then, yeah, Val is at the very end. So, you know, she can obviously bring back some fallen enemies. So definitely focus on her. And then that leaves Odin at the very, very end, which is good because, you know, with him being at the end, it makes it easier. I think it's going to be important to focus the Gore special on Odin just to kind of get that ability block on him, and then boom, we're in business here. So yeah, super easy run through, guys. So like I said, difficulty 10, but again, all my characters are jacked up. So I'm going to be back with some actual better gameplay here, but I just wanted to run you guys at least through the notes here real quick, based on what I'm seeing. And yeah, this is actually how you get the 4-star unlock. So I think that's enough points, 606,000. And then when you go to the rewards here, should be able to claim everything. Oh my gosh, I thought it was enough. So it goes to show you, you do need to actually get more points than that. But I thought oh, okay, never mind. We did get it. Maybe I was looking at another level. But yeah, there you go. We got the unlock there. 4 stars, and we'll be back, guys. We'll be back with more content. But yeah, hopefully this is helpful, guys. Hopefully this run through is able to give you some insight, and we'll be back to at least tackle on the higher levels. And I'll make sure, yeah, we're gonna see what each node looks like at the ramped up difficulties. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.